Documentary versus reality. Are they the same? In order to compare documentary to reality and vice versa, we must first define and draw a distinction between the two. For many people, the word reality suggests things such as truth, fact, and objectiveness. Some believe that film has a unique ability to capture reality, while others recognize that there are some qualities that can be manipulated that can skew reality.
The mechanical reproduction of the eye of the camera has a unique ability to capture the world around us without the help of human intervention. This allows us to embalm reality. Film has a unique obligation towards reality because it should document. It should document rather than interpret the world.
When it comes to film, I strongly believe in filming reality. That is, I believe in raw material and spontaneous footage. Real people and places and on-stage locations is just a must for documentaries.
Some people believe reality and documentary to be synonymous. However, as theorists on documentary argue, that is not always the case.
I will define documentary as the creative treatment of actuality.
We can see a tension developing between documentary as a form of film and reality because in our definition of reality, there was no room for manipulation.
At its heart, documentary is the representation of reality on film. I came up with my first principles of documentary by considering first what qualifies as reality.
John Grierson's first principles of documentary can be summarized as follows. Documentary would photograph the living scene and the living story. The original or native actor and the original or native scene should be used for footage. The materials and the stories taken from the raw can be finer than the acted article. Another theorist believes that documentaries have 4 fundamental tendencies.
I believe that the purpose of documentary fall into one or more of these categories. Check this out.
To record, reveal, to preserve.
Persuade or to promote. To analyze or to interrogate.
To express.
Renaud's tendencies, like Grierson's definition of documentary, are also problematic because other than maybe recording, revealing, or preserving, the other objectives can be deeply subjective. We already determined that an element of objectivity should exist when representing reality. To explore the tension between reality and documentary, we will look at the film Waltz with Bashir. The film contains elements of documentary in that it reveals the tragedy of the Lebanon massacre, it analyzes the idea of memory, and it expresses the soldier's traumatic experience. The film contains elements of reality in that there are real interviews with real people, and at the core of the film is the real historical event of the Israeli invasion of Lebanon. There is also supposed real historical footage at the end of the film. The film contains many problematic elements. An animated documentary. Animation is far from reality. It is highly formalized. The dream sequences and flashbacks are subjective and recalled from memory. The subject matter itself is extremely problematic. Ari Folman is trying to piece together his memory of the massacre. Memory itself is highly subjective and typically far from reality. How can we resolve these elements?
In order to reveal and persuade, the use of animation is acceptable and effective. The animation of this documentary allows the viewer to focus on the real first-hand accounts, and it also gives the footage at the end to have a more stronger potency. The film needs animation to express the memories and dreams because real footage is not available. In addition, the documentary serves the purposes of recording with real footage at the end.
This film takes one bit of the truth, the horrors at the end, and literally shapes the rest of the film to exacerbate that reality. Honestly, through the subjective matter of memory, And through the animation of reality, this documentary is just a comment on how subjective documentary can be.
Reality can be documentary. However, not all documentary is reality. Documentary has a tendency to be deeply subjective and manipulative. Documentary filmmakers typically have an agenda. Through creative manipulation or hanging onto a few pieces of reality, the documentary maker shapes reality to give the impression of truth.
Embalm reality. Let me start again. Look at this is gross. This is my saliva after smoking this fake cigar. Don't move. I need to.
This documentary is just a comment on how subjective documentary can be.